Your finches aren't just changing color, they're telling you a story. One morning, they're bright red, the next, they're dull and gray. You've seen them do it, and you've wondered what it means. Stay to the end, because we'll reveal what their sudden color shift says about their trust, health, and even their survival. Number 1. The colors of your finches may be telling you more than you think. Have you ever noticed how their feathers shift in tone? It's not just about beauty, it's about health. A study from the University of Washington found that when male house finches are unwell, their red pigmentation drops by 40%. This isn't just a random change, it's a silent signal. Your birds are trying to communicate, and you're the one who can listen. What this means for you is that their color can be a window into their well-being, right in your backyard. But the story doesn't stop at the males. Female finches are watching closely, and they know exactly what to look for. The Cornell Lab of Ornithology explains that the intensity of their reds is tied to carotenoid levels, nutrients that fuel their immune systems. A duller hue means less of these vital pigments, and that means weaker defenses. These females are not just choosing mates, they're choosing health. Your yard is a stage where natural selection plays out daily, and you're an observer in the front row. Every time you see a finch, you're witnessing a quiet, biological drama. It's a language of color, one that your finches use to speak about their health to each other and perhaps even to you. What if, in watching them, you begin to understand more than just their colors? What if you start to notice patterns, shifts, and clues that only come with time? There's more to their appearance than meets the eye, and it's waiting for you to see it. The next time you look, you might just catch a hint of something deeper, something that whispers of trust, of survival, and of a bond that's not yet spoken. Number 2. The way your yard transforms with the seasons can quietly change the way your finches look. Have you ever noticed how their feathers seem to dull in the colder months? It's not just the light, it's their biology. When the temperature drops and food becomes scarce, finches can lose the vibrant reds and yellows that make them so striking. A study in PNAS revealed that prolonged stress, even without dietary changes, can cause their plumage to fade rapidly. What this means for you is that their appearance tells a story of survival, a visual diary of their resilience in your backyard. And it's a reminder that your presence can help them endure. This fading isn't random, it's a survival mechanism. When food sources like sunflower seeds and berries become less available, finches can't absorb enough carotenoids, the pigments responsible for their bright colors. This lack of nutrition, combined with the energy demands of staying warm, forces their bodies to prioritize survival over appearance. You might notice this more closely when you feed them regularly, as your provision of sunflower seeds can actually slow this fading. What's fascinating is how their feathers reflect not just their health, but also the unseen struggles of the season. It's a silent conversation your birds are having with the world. And yet, despite their duller feathers, these birds still choose to return to your yard, perhaps even more so in the hardest times. There's a kind of trust in that consistency, a recognition that your feeders are a reliable oasis. As you watch them flit from perch to perch, their muted colors tell a tale of endurance, but also of hope. What comes next is a deeper understanding of how your daily rituals can influence the health and even the color of the birds that visit you, season after season. Number 3. This is about the secret language of attraction in your backyard. Have you ever noticed how some birds seem to shine more than others? It's not just about looks, it's a signal of health and vitality. Male finches with brighter plumage are more likely to attract mates, as noted by the National Audubon Society. Their vibrant colors are a sign they're strong enough to survive and thrive. But here's the twist. This brilliance only happens if they're eating the right food. What this means for you is that your yard might be a stage for a love story you never knew was happening. A healthy male can maintain his vibrant colors by consuming a diet rich in carotenoids. Those are the pigments found in foods like berries and seeds. But if he's sick or weak, his feathers lose their luster, becoming duller and less appealing. This is how nature ensures only the strongest males get the chance to pass on their genes. The females are watching closely, making decisions based on these subtle cues. It's a silent, elegant dance of survival and desire, playing out right in your own yard. During mating season, even a small drop in color intensity can change everything. A 20% decrease in brightness makes a male far less attractive to females. But if he's eating well, he'll hold on to that brilliance, standing out in the crowd. It's not just about being seen, it's about being chosen. And somewhere in your yard, a bird might be watching you, wondering if you're someone who can help it shine. What happens next could be the start of an unexpected connection. Number 4. A quiet shift in color can tell a story that only your yard's birds know. Have you ever noticed how some finches appear less vibrant than others? It's not just the seasons playing tricks on your eyes. This change is a silent warning. In 2018, a study revealed that finches living near industrial zones showed altered plumage due to heavy metal exposure. These changes are subtle but significant, like a whisper from the environment itself. What this means for you is that the birds in your yard are not just visitors, they're messengers of the world around you. Their feathers hold clues to the health of the land they call home. These finches don't just change color, they change in ways that signal deeper health issues. In urban areas with higher pollution, their feathers lose their luster, becoming duller and less defined. This is not just a loss of beauty, it's a sign of environmental imbalance. Heavy metals from the air and water seep into their systems, affecting everything from their immune function to their ability to reproduce. You might not see the toxins, but your birds do, and they carry the burden in every feather. This is a silent conversation between nature and industry, one that your yard is part of. The next time you spot a finch with a faded hue, remember, it's telling you something. But there's more to this story than just color. These changes in plumage are not random. They are a direct response to environmental stress and the toxins they absorb. Even the smallest shift can be a sign of larger changes in the ecosystem. Your finches are not just reacting to pollution, they are reflecting it, acting as living indicators of what's happening around them. And if you're paying attention, you might begin to see a pattern, a story that unfolds in the colors of the birds that visit your yard. What will you notice next? Number 5. The way your finches change color is not just about looking pretty. It's a language they use to talk to each other. When the sun hits their feathers just right, you might notice a flash of brighter orange or deeper blue. This is their way of saying, "I belong here," or "I'm not to be messed with." It's like they're wearing a badge of social status, visible only to those who know how to read it. What this means for you is that every time you see that shimmer, you're witnessing a moment of communication, a silent conversation happening just outside your window. These color shifts are not random. They're shaped by the finch's need to fit in or stand out depending on the situation. In your yard, if a new bird arrives, you might notice others altering their appearance subtly, a way of saying, "We are here and we are not to be ignored." This is a complex form of social engineering where color becomes a tool for inclusion or exclusion. Watching this unfold, you realize your yard is not just a place for feeding, but a stage where these tiny creatures negotiate their place in the flock. Their colors are not just about beauty, they're about belonging. What's even more fascinating is that these color changes are not just visual, they're a response to the unseen pressures of their world. If a finch feels threatened or isolated, its colors may dull, a sign that it's trying to blend in or hide. But if it's confident or trying to impress, it will flash brighter, a silent declaration of presence. You might never hear their words, but you can see their meaning in every hue. And in that moment, you're not just an observer, you're part of their story. What will they show you next when the pressure shifts and the colors change again? Number 6. A sudden shift in color can be more than just a sign of fading health. It can be a silent plea for space and survival. Imagine a finch in your yard, once vibrant with rich hues, now dulled to a pale shadow of itself. This change isn't just about looking sick, it's a message to others. It's a way of saying, "I'm not a competitor anymore, I need to be left alone." This behavior has been observed and documented by researchers who study avian communication and survival strategies. It's a subtle but powerful clue that something is wrong, not just with the bird, but with the balance of the environment around it. This fading color is a survival tactic, a way for the bird to avoid drawing attention from predators or other birds who might see it as a threat or a target. In your yard, it's easy to miss this shift, especially if you're used to seeing the same birds every day. But if you notice a finch that's suddenly less colorful, it could be a signal that it's injured or in distress. This is a behavior that's been studied in detail, with findings showing that these birds are not just reacting to their own condition, but also adapting to their surroundings in a very intentional way. It's a reminder that even the smallest changes in a very intentional way. It's a reminder that even the smallest changes in appearance from predator. What this means for you is that your yard is not just a place where birds come to eat. It's a stage for complex interactions, survival tactics, and silent signals. When you notice a bird that's suddenly less colorful, it's not just a minor change in appearance. It's a moment of vulnerability that you might be the only one around to witness. This observation can deepen your connection to the birds that visit your space, giving you a front row seat to their hidden world. And it's just the beginning. There's more to learn about the quiet ways these creatures communicate and how they choose to show trust, not just when they're healthy, but when they're just a place where the vulnerability that you might be the only one around to witness. There's a moment, quiet, almost imperceptible, when a finch, after a sudden color shift, chooses to sit on your windowsill, not out of hunger, but because it trusts you. It's a fragile moment of connection, where a bird that once seemed distant now feels like a companion, and you realize how much it sees and how much it needs. In that instant, the world feels smaller, and the bond between you is no longer just a whisper in the wind, but a shared heartbeat in the stillness of morning. You've fed it every day for months, but this is different. This is not just routine, this is recognition. The bird's eyes meet yours, not with fear, but with a quiet, knowing gaze. In that shared glance, you feel seen, not as a stranger, but as someone who has earned its trust. It is not just a creature of instinct, but of memory and emotion. And in that moment, you are no longer just a feeder, you are a friend. The next time you notice your finch is changing color, take a closer look and ask yourself, what are they trying to tell me? We'd love to hear your stories in the comments, and don't forget to share this with someone who loves watching birds too. I'll see you in the next one.